This piece of a taser is all that's left after a police chase that ultimately led to a Texas City officer being attacked by a police dog. Police say the house behind me is where Deborah Davis found her husband with his girlfriend sitting together. Davis shot him once in the groin, enough to kill him without even leaving her car. Tiffany, GroupMe is an app many college students use to help each other with homework. But here in Lawrence, students don't know if KU even has a policy regarding the using apps for class. Tiffany, GroupMe es una app que los estudiantes usan para comunicar sobre la tarea. Pero aquí en Lawrence, los estudiantes no saben si KU tiene reglas sobre el uso de los apps para la clase. Constanza Castro, el miembro de Halo, me dijo que lo hizo por la falta de respeto para los estudiantes hispanos en el campus. Some wanting to see Lil Yachty, but most hoping to convince prospects this is the best place to play college basketball. That's right. As you can see, crews behind me are beginning to make the final preparations for Tuesday's big Freedom Over Texas celebration. Thousands are expected to turn out, with acts such as Hunter Hayes and DNCE performing on the stage behind me. Fireworks will start around 9:30 p.m. and you can watch it all live on ABC 13. Back to you guys in the studio. Police say the house behind me is where Deborah Davis found her husband with his girlfriend sitting together. Davis shot him once in the groin, enough to kill him without even leaving her car. Bravo. One shot, that's all it took. Rodney Johnson is now dead at 49 years old. Police say around 11:40 last night, Davis found Johnson sitting with his girlfriend, and Davis lost it. The couple started arguing. Davis shot Johnson once before he later died at Bentob Hospital.
I really can't believe that. I don't know what could have happened for that to happen.
Ronald Young lives next to the couple. Young says he's never heard them argue and didn't even know she owned a gun. There's a "No Guns Allowed" sign posted on their door. This is the woman police are now looking for, 59-year-old Deborah Davis. Police say she drove off in her gray Hyundai Sonata and she still has the gun she shot her husband with, so she could be dangerous. If you've seen her, call police. Reporting from South Houston, Lauren Davidson, 13 Eyewitness News. They're changing the recruiting process. Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and Snapchat. Senior guard Devontae Graham says he's been cautious of what he posts on social media since before he started being recruited.
Look what you tweet, they look what you post, they look at your comments, because they're going to invest millions of dollars in you. And the fans, they watch everything you do. Little kids, you know, we don't know, but it's a bunch of little kids that look up to us and admire us.
Curtis Townsend is the assistant coach for KU men's basketball. He's also a top 5 recruiter in the country, according to ESPN's Jeff Rosello. He has recruited top players like Sharon Collins, Andrew Wiggins, and Frank Mason. Townsend says when he first started recruiting, he would send handwritten letters to prospects. But now, social media has made recruiting more difficult.
I think in their world, they think they're more accessible, but they don't have to respond ever to anything you ever send them.
Universities can now hire agencies to monitor prospects' social media pages. The agencies alert coaches to questionable posts so coaches are aware of the problem before they offer prospects a scholarship.
I know guys that have had scholarships and had them pulled because of the social media deal.
An opportunity to play for the Jayhawks, gone with the click of a button. I'm standing outside of a home where HFD was able to put out a fire within just minutes, but unfortunately, it wasn't enough to save one man's life. A heartbroken family now has the daunting task of collecting what's left after a fire killed 80-year-old Ernest Stewart. Stewart's son, Edward, had just seen his dad on Father's Day, now his last memory of his father.
He got home and called me and said, "Thank you. Thank you for that Father's Day present."
The Houston Fire Department says firefighters were called to the home just before 11 this morning. A neighbor tells us she saw the smoke and even broke a window when she heard Stewart begging for help, but couldn't reach him. Most of the damage was in the kitchen.
We don't have official cause. Right now, there's a high suspicion of possible unattended cooking in the kitchen area that might have been the cause for this incident.
A grieving son is now trying to focus on what his father meant to others.
They gave him his respect. Everybody in this neighborhood.
In Northeast Houston, Lauren Davidson. This piece of a taser is all that's left after a police chase that ultimately led to a Texas City officer being attacked by a police dog.
Oh yeah, just don't tell my wife.
Normally it's the suspect being taken down by a canine, but today it was Corporal Robert Judson. It all started when Texas City police tried to pull over a reckless driver, but they didn't stop until they were at a dead end. 3 suspects were arrested on scene, but the 4th, he led police on a foot chase that lasted for 6 blocks. That's when Judson spotted the suspect, tackled him, and Indy, the police dog, tried to help. Instead, biting Judson, thinking he was the suspect. Judson is okay and says Indy was just doing her job. Neighbors are just glad the suspects are in custody.
It's real quiet. We don't have no activities like that around here, so that makes me nervous, really.